Listen carefully. I recall sitting in a cafe several years back, overhearing two women at a nearby table. One was complaining about her romantic relationship, and she said something that made me pause my drink. He thinks he's incredible because he can pin me against the wall, but I only want him to keep me quiet on the mattress for 5 minutes. Why is that more difficult? The other woman simply agreed and said, because stillness frightens them more. Action is simple. Gazing into your eyes, that's the challenge. Insightful. There's a saying that applies here. The flesh expresses what words cannot. Women plead for postures that let their flesh speak. They plead to be clutched, to be noticed, to be treasured. And the strange part, a sigh, most of these postures don't need any ability at all. They just need you to be present. Greetings back to feminine perspective. Today we're exploring something I rarely see discussed. 5 postures women request but men never attempt. And believe me, this isn't about skill. It's about mindset. It's about what women genuinely desire behind shut doors. If you're new here, press that subscribe button so you don't miss future content. And if this subject interests you, please like this video so more women can discover this discussion. Let's discuss the crossed leg position. It's easy to explain, yet oddly hard to find. The woman sits on the man's lap, circling her legs around his waist while he sits with legs crossed or folded. You are face to face, torso to torso. There is no gap between you. This is the first thing women desire about it, the closeness. In this posture, your frames are aligned upward. It isn't about pushing or force, it's about swaying. It's a soft, circular motion that requires the man to stay motionless and support her mass. For a woman, this is where the mindset activates. When she wraps her legs around him and he keeps her there, she is fully defenseless. Her face is directly there. He can notice every expression, every flicker of her lashes, every tug of her lip. Many men avoid this because it seems inactive. They feel like they aren't contributing. They worry they appear foolish just sitting there. But for a woman, the gesture of a man being aware in that calmness is the most active thing he can perform. She senses his breath on her throat. She can glide her fingers through his hair. She can lay her head on his chest. It turns closeness into an embrace, which is something women are naturally drawn to crave. It also pushes a different pace. You cannot hurry in the crossed leg pose. If you attempt to move quick, you fall off balance. You must match your breathing. You must gaze at each other. When a woman requests this, she isn't asking for a physical posture. She is asking for emotional security. She wants to sense being held, not merely penetrated. She wants to sense being valued, not just chased. It's the contrast between a physical act and a soulful bond. When a man finally tries it, he usually understands that the strength of eye contact and the heat of her shape pressed against his is a sensation no quantity of gymnastics can ever replace. It's the sensation of being truly welcomed in. Let's discuss the curled embrace. On the surface, it sounds like the easy choice. It's the move you use when you're exhausted for anything else. But that's a huge misinterpretation of what curled embrace truly gives. It's the man resting on his side, bent behind the woman, his torso touching her spine. He is the outer curve, she's the inner curve. That image alone explains why women want it so much. It's the highest posture of being shielded. When a woman is curled up and a man folds himself around her, she is fully enveloped by him. His arm is over her midsection. His limbs are woven with hers, and his mouth is just beside her ear. There's no place to conceal herself. She's wholly bare with her back toward him, which demands a degree of faith that is extremely personal. She's offering him her uncovered side. Men sometimes avoid this because it seems like an afterthought. It seems like warm up or cool down, not the central act. But for a woman, the central act is often the feeling of being wanted while she isn't putting on a show. In curled embrace, she isn't looking at him. She doesn't have to grin or groan on command or appear alluring. She can simply be. And when he clutches her like that and closeness happens from the rear, it sends a signal that he wants her even when she isn't watching him. He wants the nape of her neck. He wants the arch of her spine. The physical sensation is also distinct. It permits a slow, rubbing rhythm that focuses on depth rather than pace. It's a soft whisper, not a loud cry. There's also something deeply ancient about it. It mirrors the feeling of being guarded against the outside. When a man holds a woman in curled embrace, he is basically creating a barrier around her with his form. She feels his pulse on her back. She feels his breath in her hair. She feels tiny and secure. When a woman requests this, she is asking to be enfolded. She wants to sense that she's the most valued thing in the space, something to be kept and defended. She wants to wake up and sense that weight still behind her. It's not just a posture. It's a sensation of being totally and utterly wrapped by someone who has no desire to release. Let's discuss the seated lap. Now, on paper, this appears to be all about the woman. She is above. She is leading. She is doing the effort. But the mindset of the seated lap is actually much more about what the man is doing while sitting entirely motionless. It includes him resting on a solid seat, perhaps a dining chair or the edge of a mattress with his soles flat on the ground. She then mounts him, facing him, coiling her legs around his waist. Here's the hidden insight that men often overlook. When a woman is on top in a bed, she's usually bent over, bracing herself up, attempting not to fall onto him. It can be exhausting, but in the chair, she's sitting straight. She's upright. He's beneath her, gazing upward at her. For a woman, being looked up at while she manages the tempo is an intensely strengthening feeling. She feels valued. Men sometimes resist this because they feel detached from the action. They feel like they're merely a piece of furniture. They would rather be rising or shifting or doing something that seems like taking charge. But women don't want to be directed all the time. Sometimes a woman wants to give a performance. She wants to lean back slightly, put her palms on his thighs, and sway in a manner that pleases her. She wants to see his face as he stares at her. The chair also permits a degree of eye contact that contrasts with lying down. When you are seated straight, gaze to gaze, there's no place to hide. He can see her whole shape. He can slide his hands up her legs, settle them on her hips, or draw her near for a kiss. He is the anchor. She is the motion. It's a perfect equilibrium of offering and receiving. He gives her steadiness, the stage, the safe base to rest. She gives him the sight, the movement, the closeness. When a woman requests this, she's asking for the opportunity to be noticed. She wants to steer for a moment without feeling like she's carrying all the burden. She wants to sense his palms gripping her, leading her softly, but letting her choose the rhythm. It's the sensation of being in charge while also being entirely upheld. She gets to be the center of attention, but only because he built the platform for her. It changes the dynamic into a teamwork of equals where both are involved simply in different crucial ways. Let's discuss the ankles lifted. This is one of those postures that seems forceful in the moment, and it certainly can be, but the mindset behind why women request it is often misinterpreted. It starts with her on her back, and then he takes her legs and raises them, setting her ankles or shins on his shoulders. He is basically bending her in half. Now physically, this allows for deep entry. That's the clear part. But for a woman, the emotional and mental component is much stronger than the physical one. When her legs go up, she becomes totally open. There's no crossing, no shutting out, no concealing. She's lying there bare with her legs bordering his face. It's the highest posture of trust. She is saying, "Here I am. I believe in you fully." Men sometimes avoid this because it seems like effort. You're holding her legs. You're bearing her weight. You're pressing into her. But what men don't realize is that the woman is not seeking gymnastics here. She is seeking the feeling of being fully exposed while the man stares at her. When he keeps her legs like that, he has a flawless view of her expression. He can notice every response, every gasp, every time she shuts her eyes. There is no looking away. There's also something about the angle that alters everything. It changes how he kisses her. He has to bend down to touch her lips. He has to stretch forward to murmur to her. He is covering her, floating over her, surrounding her. She feels small. She feels fragile. She feels like he could just fold himself around her completely. And when he glances down past her legs, directly into her eyes, it creates a sightline that feels incredibly private. It is just the two of them locked together. When a woman requests this, she's asking to be unfolded. She wants to be opened and examined, but tenderly. She wants to sense his mass, but also his restraint. She wants to know that he can manage her fragility, that he won't be frightened by how bare she is. It's a trial of faith passed in real time. She is offering him everything, and in exchange, he holds her legs, upholds her, and meets her stare. It's vulnerable, deep, and intensely personal. It's the sensation of being fully at someone's kindness and knowing deeply that you are totally safe there. Let's discuss the kneeling mouth posture. This is the one that demands the most from the man physically, but offers the most to the woman emotionally. It's easy to explain. She rests on the edge of the bed or on a solid chair, leaning back slightly. He kneels down on the ground in front of her. That's all. He is on his knees looking upward. Now, men often skip this instinctively. It's not that they don't want to satisfy her. It's that kneeling is exposed. It's yielding. In a society where men are trained to guide, to stand proud, to be the victor, getting down on your knees before a woman feels like reducing yourself. But here's what women understand that men sometimes miss. When a man kneels, he isn't reducing himself, he's raising her. For a woman, being in this posture is about accepting. It's about being permitted to just sit there, to lean back, to shut her eyes, and to accept pleasure without having to return anything in that instant. She doesn't have to worry about her appearance. She doesn't have to perform. She doesn't have to twist her body into a knot to make it easier for him. She just gets to be and feel. There's also the visual of it. She looks down and there he is. He's below her, focused fully on her. His hands are on her thighs or clutching her hips. He's exactly where he wishes to be. That visual alone, looking down and seeing a man entirely absorbed in her delight, is thrilling for a woman. It makes her feel wanted in a manner that differs from entry. It makes her feel treasured. The mindset here is about surrender, but from his side, he surrenders his ease. Kneeling on a hard floor isn't pleasant. He surrenders his dignity. He places her delight literally in front of his face. When a woman requests this, she is asking to be set on a pedestal. She wants to sense that she's worth the pain of the floor. She wants to sense like a queen being served by someone who worships her. It flips the dynamic entirely. It says that her delight is important enough to kneel for. It says that he finds her so captivating that he doesn't care about his own stance. He just wants to be there, right there, making her feel wonderful. And when she glides her fingers through his hair and peers down at him, she feels strong, valued, and deeply, deeply adored.